honestly, watching this, but I was getting more and more angry watching this. When's this gonna fucking end?
Well, one sentence.
Jesus Christ. Even though I was going to leave, and I was at home.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 20 of the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews, and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are better, core creative, and as ever, I am joined. They are the tightest worldwide to my conga line. It's Sam and Jack Chan.
Hello.
Hello. Did you enjoy the conga line?
No.
Oh, brilliant. What?
Alright, we'll get to
No, wait. Brilliant. And I am your host, Ben Chance. Hello. And if that hasn't whetted your appetite, this is a viewer's choice pay-per-view and episode 20, and it is Backlash 2018. We're back in modern day WWE.
We're back in 1 year ago.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed seeing where the product was a year ago? And
No, because it's not really changed much.
Jack, you probably watched this previously anyway.
I watched it when... Yeah.
I watched it live!
So yeah, watching it again wasn't a pleasant experience.
Yeah, no, well. Backlash 2018, and you ask, why would we choose Backlash 2018?
Well, it's your fault.
We're about to tell you why. The pay-per-view headlined by Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, and 2 weeks out from the greatest of Royal Rumble.
It was the week before.
Yeah, it was too.
It was the week before.
And then they had a pay-per-view coming up there after it. Or something.
Money in the Bank was next.
Yeah.
Was it Money in the Bank or...
Yeah, it was Money in the
another
Bank.
random one?
No, it was Money in the Bank, because they were saying about they've just come from Saudi Arabia, they got this show, and then I'm going to Europe after this.
The week
Like, bloody hell.
Yeah, it was all a bit of a mess, and you felt like, well, we'll get to the booking later on. But Backlash itself, are they doing a Backlash this year?
Stomping ground.
They're taking Backlash off.
What was the first pay-per-view after Mania?
Extreme Rules.
Money in the Bank.
Oh no, it was Money in the Bank.
They
got rid of it.
Yeah.
This
It's a
is
shame.
replaced it in a sense.
Yeah.
Backlash has been going since 1998.
Well, they stopped it
90
in 2009.
Yeah, 2009 was the last one. Then they brought it
They
back
had
in
all the
2016.
concept stuff there.
Then in 2016, when they did the Raw and SmackDown shows, they just dug up all the old ones, like No Mercy and everything.
Quite a famous sort of sub pay-per-view. Is there any memories of Backlash that you have, Jack?
Yes, there is. Would you like me to elaborate?
Yes, absolutely.
So he asked the question.
Shut up, you. Orton versus Foley,
Yes.
2004, which was Orton's coming out party in a sense, where he felt like he was a main star.
Yep.
Hogan winning the belt, 2002.
Yeah.
That
wasn't his coming out party.
that was his going home party.
No, I think that was his match with Shawn against Hassan and Davari in 05.
Yeah.
So that happened at Backlash.
Did that happen at
Yeah,
Backlash? Is that your favourite memory?
No, mine
Hogan
was
loves
Vince dancing with
Backlash.
God.
Oh, wow, yes. I forgot. This Backlash marks God's pay-per-view on pay-per-view debut.
The streak! I was going to beat God. And the fact I watched the entrance just because of how saft it was, and he made the ref pat him down. Check him! Check him! And then he slapped the ref. And then he got it DQ. This
Mad Vince.
Mad Vince.
We may.
To be fair, when you do look at Backlash, it had some pretty good matches.
Yeah, it had some good
King
moments. I remember.
Also, Big Show Carly.
You did. It was a lot of
Scott
shit.
Olvey Bradshaw.
Well,
It's always
Billy
that
Kidman had a match.
weird seasonal thing where you're just getting out of WrestleMania, so you should, in theory, have your 2 or 3 hot baby faces. Or hot superstars feuding, and then you always have the new ones that are on the block and coming out. Because I remember 2004 when they had the brand splits where you had random matches like Bradshaw having a match and stuff.
Well, that was after the first brand split, but it was together because Farouk come out with Bradshaw against Scott Hall. You had Al Snow and Maven fighting for the tag on that show. Because that's the one where Jericho comes out and says, "Why are you got a match? Billy Kidman's got a match. Maven's got a match." Buries him basically because he was the point. He lost the world belt pay-per-view before.
It is a fair point, to be fair. And obviously, I remember Triple H and Shawn Michaels Triple Threat 2 with He Who Shall.
Yeah.
That random bloke.
Yeah. What happened to him?
We never know. He disappeared.
A little fact about it: Backlash was the last In Your House pay-per-view.
Yes, that was when Austin returned.
It was when he fought Rock after 15
Rock.
in '99. That was the last In Your House.
So let's see whether Backlash 2018 can stand up to its illustrious backlashes of the past. But before we do, what happened in the world of 2018? I think it was May the 6th, 2018. I shall tell you for why in a moment. But number 1 on the UK box office was Calvin Harris and Dua Lipa singing One Kiss.
That was at the box office.
Did I say the box office?
I was in movies, that was.
Oh yeah, that's a short film.
Well, the number 1 box office attraction hasn't changed much because it was Infinity War.
I was going to say, I bet it was in the Marvel film.
Not much has changed in the year. However, one thing did change because in the sporting world, the day before, West Bromwich Albion beat Spurs 1-0 and gave faint hope that they may remain in the Premier League.
Well, that's changed.
But Jack, should they not want to check out Dua Lipa or check out Infinity War, what offerings do you have in the album world?
Well, there's 4, as usual. You can vote on Twitter for which one you want me to review. The first one is All I See Is War by Seven Dust. My boys. Yes. The second one is World's Strongest Man.
Oh, Mark Henry.
No,
that's it.
That's it. It's by Gaz Coombs.
Gaz Coombs? No idea.
Supergrass.
Well,
yeah.
I know him.
You know him.
Yes.
The third one is Attention, Attention by Shinedown. And lastly,
I think all the wrestling fraternity will
they'll know this one.
Oh,
Sam will love this one.
yeah.
The last one is Legends Rise by Godsmack.
Godsmack.
Because they had that
for greatest
car.
Yeah, so you can choose one of them and I shall review.
Yes.
We will not be going to Saudi Arabia.
No, we'll be reviewing it in Saudi Arabia.
No, but if you do want to cast your vote, head over to our Twitter page now. We're at BCC Pod. Give us a vote there, and the reviews themselves will appear on our website, which is bettercallcreative.com, and we are ready for the kick-off show, which 2 of us have watched.
Figure out which one didn't.
Shortly. But Backlash 2018, let me ask you this. What was the average ticket price of Backlash 2018?
$30.
Any advance on that? Higher or lower?
That's going to go low. I was going to say about 17 quid.
It was $184.
Wow.
It was probably inflated because of like specialists backstage passes and things like that.
$184
$184 was the average
Jesus
price,
Christ.
and the gate itself made $2.5 million. So anyone who tells you that WWE is struggling financially at the moment, think again.
We'll buy you shit, but we won't watch it.
We'll buy a ticket, but we'll leave. I tell you that.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yes.
To be honest, just looking at a football ground, that's what happened.
Well, that's true. It was in New Jersey, I believe, and it was 14,000 paying attendees.
In the shadow of New York.
The kickoff show was headlined by Bayley versus Ruby Riott. But before we get there, Jack, did you have any show notes for the rest of the kickoff show?
We're just all talking promos and talking bollocks about the show. It really
Booker
is.
T doesn't know whether he's a heel or a face.
He can't decide what he is. It's a bit... I know why they do them, but to only have one match, I think, is the wrong thing to do. I think they should have...
Was that Rosenberg man on it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yes,
Pete
he
and
was.
Rosenberg was on it.
What about
Booker
that
T, Renee Young,
And a
Sam
Tonga.
bloke
and a Tonga.
with the-
No, he already
He
did
would.
that.
On commentary, it's the 3 C's, Coach, Cole and Corey Graves. And Bayley is out first. The team start hyping the dissension between Sasha Banks, who's she, and Bayley. As the Riot Squad are out next. No, I miss the Riot Squad. They missed a trick with the Riot Squad, didn't they?
Yeah, I agree.
So there's an even start to the match with a series of near falls by Bayley, but a strong shot lays out Bayley. And Sasha is shown in the background in like a purple room looking sideways.
Awkwardly watching the telly.
Yes, waiting on. We get an ad break spot, which goes on for ages on the network. And then Ruby Riott is on top when we come back. There's a nice face plant by Ruby, which gets a 2 count. And then Logan outside gets a shot. Not Logan as in Wolverine. But Logan gets in a shot as we go backstage again to a shot of Sasha, who carries on waiting and watching.
Still watching.
Yeah. There's a nice spot in the match as Bayley is head scissored onto the middle rope, on the middle turnbuckle, which they replay, which did look nice.
Yes.
It was lovely. And there's a springboard crossbody by Bayley, which gets a 2. And a Hurricane Rana outside by Bayley on Logan. And then there's a nice Macho Man elbow, which gets a 2. And the finish sequence now kicks in, which sees Bayley tossed into Liv Morgan. And this leads to the Riot kick for the 3. Right result?
Yeah, I thought it was the right winner. The Riot Squad was relatively newish at the time, and they should have had more done with them. And Ruby Riott is obviously a very good worker and can lead a team, so I thought it was a good match to open the show and a good the right winner.
I thought they were a bit off the timing.
Some of the times there was a bit sloppy.
Yeah, but I mean it is odd to when you're going out there in this sort of spot with not much going on.
No one. People are filing in there.
Yeah.
A bit
But
weird.
So what was the crowd like at this point?
It wasn't
Relatively
hot.
foolish.
It wasn't what it's going to
It
be
wasn't
called.
mania.
It wasn't what it's going to be
More
called.
full than the main event.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a solid match, and both of these can work. What's happened to Ruby Riott anyway? Where's she? No, she actually
she's got shoulder injury. I think.
And when you see her in this match, I mean, all
Double
three
shoulder.
of the Riot Squad have got a lot of upside to them. But when you see Ruby Riott in this match, she is definitely a solid worker on the card.
Yeah.
So yeah, no issues there. And Sam, you
Hello.
can join us now as we go to the main show and video packages hype up most of our card. Did you catch the musician and the song playing?
Yeah,
in
I
the
did.
background?
Yes, your favourite.
I spent
song you
a
were
whole
ages.
evening after West Bromwich Albion lost to Chelsea trying to search for this particular song, which was used on a package for Sky Sports covering the whole season. Champion by Barnes Courtney is playing it in the background.
Well, I like the question at the beginning. What is Backlash?
Yeah, well,
Do you think that's what Vince said after they said, "Well, what's our next pay-per-view?" Backlash. What is Backlash? Stomping ground.
What do we do with Backlash? And
What's a backlash?
I think there is a splice bit of either. I think it's Michael Cole saying it's the first Cole-branded show.
Yeah, it was. It was the first one.
You wouldn't tell.
Going back together.
It wasn't the very first co-branded show.
Well, not it.
No.
Since the brand split.
Yeah, that put them back together, haven't they? Because of
There's
the
so many,
papers
wasn't
and
there?
shit.
There's 2 every month.
So what they did is they brought them back together and thought we're going to go really, really heavy and strong with this, and we're going to have a non-title match as the main event.
Well, considering one of your world champs doesn't appear.
Yeah, with our face, which no one likes,
Yeah.
and we're going to well, our opening contest is The Miz contending for the Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins. Did Seth Rollins win it at WrestleMania?
Yeah,
he won in the triple threat thing
with
Balor.
Finn.
And the commentary hype up that Miz is now a member of SmackDown Live. Recently moved, so he moved back to Raw. This latest man.
Yeah,
He's moved everyone.
Constantly moved.
Well, I don't think it really matters.
Doesn't matter anymore. He's
a wild
been
card.
more than Raw recently.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though he's on Raw.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins' music hits to a huge pop. What's your thoughts on Seth Rollins' theme, Jack? You are a resident music man. I like it. I think it's
They burn it down.
The Burn It Down's added a little marketing to it.
Yeah,
they
for
can
the
put out on a t-shirt. The corporate on a t-shirt.
that's true, yeah.
I'd buy it if it did. So when you're reading your shirt, go on.
What's this for?
What's this shirt?
And if you did need marketing, Michael Cole will do you a job, because did you hear him scream the King?
Oh, he does that. That's why I'm kind of glad Sasha Banks were on this fucking card.
It's just.
It's a year and a bit after the Kingslayer, and I'm still saying it.
Yeah,
He's IC champ,
and
we slayed no king.
we get sent to the Spanish announce table and the German announce table, and the pay-per-view is set, and we're off and running with match number 1: Seth Rollins versus The Miz. The crowd are quite hot for this match. In fairness, you can tell that both men are over in their own way as Miz starts to stomp down on Seth early on. There's a really nice drop kick as well by Seth. I put here as well the commentary team, because I don't watch a great deal of wrestling now, and when I do watch it, it's more sort of sparse highlights. When you sit down and you watch a pay-per-view like this, there is so much talking.
Yeah.
They talk all the time.
That's what I thought.
There's no dead end.
I think I actually said, "Shut up!"
Yeah, you constantly talk. Half the time they're not even really. They're setting the match. Don't get me wrong, but they're not really talking about the action. They're going and Seth does this and
saying a lot without saying anything.
Yeah,
basically.
Just really started to grate on me. And this is what,
it's only the first match.
Yeah, 2 minutes into the first match. Miz kicks Seth, blocking a springboard attack, and Miz starts to mock the kick to Seth as Cole hypes the similar career paths, which they do have, in fairness to Michael Cole. There's a lovely sequence which leads to a snap DDT by Miz and gets 2. And Miz has a chance to tie with Y2J on IC titles, and I thought, if WWE watched this pay-per-view back and realised this, how long do you think it would be until Miz gets 2 IC titles?
That wouldn't surprise me, although Jericho does say since he won the New Japan one, he's a 10-time IC champ. So when he won it, that's what he said, he's a 10-time.
I love the word lollygag.
Valuable time, you can't lollygag when you're dealing with Ross. To your point.
Sorry, Corey Graves, I must admit.
Poor Corey.
I know, he has to do a lot of work.
You can tell even he gets pissed off, and like, I feel for you, man. Get back to NXT.
I know. Well, everyone feels like that. There's a beaut of a face plant in the corner by Seth, and then a suicide dive gets the crowd back into the match. Nice blockbuster gets a 2. And I put here that these two have quite good timing and chemistry. They really do work well together. There's another nice spot where Seth catches Miz, which will eventually lead to a really nice frog splash. He sort of rolls through, puts him down, and then goes up top, and it's a frog splash, which they do replay and get over the height and the majesticness of it. The curb stomp is initially teased, and then there's another great spot on the apron, which leads to Seth going knee first into the post, adding a bit of psychology into the match. This leads to the figure 4 spot. Remember when Miz was given the figure 4 by Ric Flair? Anyone?
What was that?
But the hold is...
What happens when he went to TNA to screw him up?
Yeah.
You're the man. Face Miz, it works. Look at now.
This hold is eventually broken, and Miz hits the first... Well, I shouldn't... Oh, that's a tease, isn't it? The first skull-crushing finale.
It'll kick out.
As Seth sold the knee and gets a 2. There's a top rope suplex spot which leads through to the second skull-crushing finale. What's your thoughts on the skull-crushing finale name?
Shit.
It's awful. I had to try and... I abbreviated it to SKF because I was fed up of writing it.
I wrote it, but I just don't want to write it because it's shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I put SFF because I realised I fucked it up.
Southern fried fish.
Southern fried fish.
Go fucking finale. That's what it is.
Excuse me.
And this gets a 2, and the crowd go absolutely mental. And even though I knew the result, I must admit at that point I did think that was going to be the end.
I remember when I watched it thinking that.
The finish spot now sees a second rope curb stomp missed, but a near fall leads to a curb stomp for a 3. And I'll put here a pretty good, solid opening match. What's your thoughts, Jack?
Yeah, very good, very, very good. I don't like the fact that he kicked out of 2 of Mizzy's finishes. I don't think that was needed. Maybe one would do the trick.
That's the trope nowadays.
Yeah,
so
but it's only Backlash. I could understand if it was Mania.
And I think the fact that they'd sold the knee, that could have really played into that, and that's part of the reason why.
It was the blow off as well because of it being co-branded and he's gone to SmackDown, he's staying on Raw. They're going to have another match. Really,
Yeah, but I must admit, for an opener, it was a really
it was a really good match.
Out of 10 marks.
Out of 10,
I'm saying you are marks.
out of 10 marks. 8.
Yeah, I said about 8. Yeah.
Well, I gave it a 9.5.
Oh,
I enjoyed it. I must admit, it was the second longest match I think on the card, and it was the quickest. It was the easiest to watch for it. And like I say, I just can't think of much that did wrong other than that. I thought maybe Miz came out a bit. Yeah, and that is such a trope. You're right.
It just happens to it nowadays.
In that.
Horrific.
And quick question for you: which road agent do you reckon road agent did this match?
The road agent did it.
Yes, it did.
I've got 3 in mind. It's either Malenko, Arnold, Finn.
It's none of those. It's Tyson Kidd.
Oh,
so
goodie.
there you go, Tyson Kidd doing good work in the backstage.
Fair enough.
We get a video recap now of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss's feud. You can tell how good Alexa Bliss is as a character.
Yeah.
She is just
on the mic,
fantastic. On the
got Nia over as a face,
which says it all
for a little bit. By the next pay-per-view, she's not.
I was going to say they kept swapping down. She face.
By the end of the match, I think everyone was fed up.
Yeah, we get it.
We get a champion's introduction now. At least they are treating the 2 women's world titles as world titles, which is the right thing
they
to do.
invented women, eh? So
Yeah, they did. They
They did invent women.
They did. Invented the women. And early on, Nia Jax plays the Andre role by beating down on Alexa Bliss and no selling the smaller woman's offense. As Bliss tries to ground, I've put Jax here, but it's not Mortal Kombat Jax.
No, that's Jack.
No, I gotcha. Alexa, I put here, plays the crowd, the heel to the crowd, but the crowd
like her too much.
Well, I just think they're a bit dead and a bit.
I think
I was
flat.
a bit.
Yeah. Already?
Yeah.
I think they have to think that they must just be thinking, well, it ain't going to be as good as what we've just seen.
Yeah. I've seen the rest of the card. It's downhill from here, lads.
Yeah.
The finishes are teased early on as Jax misses a rolling senton, and I'll put here that the match slows down a bit because Bliss is focusing on face holds and grounding Nia Jax.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Is a bit poor. Nia Jax is back on top as Bliss bumps around, and where she just tosses her from corner to corner, throws her around the ring.
Was this before or after where Alexa Bliss bounced off the ropes, just stopped and then slapped her?
That
was a funny bit.
That was a good spot. And I put here the crowd just seemed pretty dead. Nia Jax teases a Vader bomb, which would have been nice to see, but gets dumped over the top rope, and Bliss hits a DDT onto the steps, which gets a tiny bit of a pop. And Bliss now tries to get Nia inside, using a bit of psychology in the match. And Nia goes to hit a top rope Samoan drop, but is knocked down for a 2. I've put here a bit of crowd reaction finally, and Twisted Bliss is caught in midair, reversed into a Samoan drop for a pretty flat 3 count.
Yep.
And then after the match we get the Nia Jax promo about beat the bullies.
Don't be a bully.
Nia, congratulations. What does this victory mean to you?
It means everything. It means Alexa's moment of bliss is over. This victory is for anyone who's ever felt less than. That have never felt good enough. You know? This is for everyone who's been bullied. For anyone who's being bullied. In school, at work, or on social media. You're not alone. And it's okay to be different. Who wants to be ordinary? Be extraordinary. Your uniqueness is what makes you special, and that is beautiful. And you are good enough. You should never change for a friend, for a boyfriend, or anyone. I make no apologies for who I am. This is me. So you be who you are. Be a star. And remember, in the end, a bully always gets their ass kicked.
Don't be a star. Bully bullshit. And obviously, again, WWE invented standing up to bullies.
Yeah.
As Michael Cole tells you.
We're not bullied.
yeah. So where Nia Jax ends up in a couple of months. Bully. What? Bully.
All right, put him up. Are you having a bully day? I'm having a bully day. Is everyone having a bully day? Bully. Yes, bully.
What was your thoughts on the match, Jack?
Well, they're in the wrong roles, are they? I mean, surely Alexa's got to be the one who's being bullied by Nia Jax, because Nia Jax is 200 odd pounds and 6 foot, and Alexa Bliss is 5'5".
Yeah, but she's fat.
It didn't work.
If you're fat, you're a heel.
How do you bully a 6 foot woman who's bigger than everybody? I don't know how it worked. I don't think the narrative worked. It was just to shield the campaign, and her title run as a whole was a bit of a damp squib.
Yeah, but she had a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, Mania. Everybody thought, she hadn't won it that day.
Just became about bullying instead of just getting Alexa Bliss. It was all stand up to bullies.
Yeah.
I like this match more than probably the Mania match, because the Mania match was pretty much a dominant squash of Bliss.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Mania match had the crowd reaction, so the crowd being really flat, it didn't help a slower paced match. And that bullshit at the end I could have done without.
The promo.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I agree with Jack. That's the wrong way around. And it was flat, and the constant face locks.
Yeah, I do understand the psychology of trying to slow down a bigger person, but it was because of that. Like I say, if the story isn't good enough, which it probably isn't, it's always going to suffer.
Backwards.
Yeah, it just meant no sense. Marks out of 10, Jack?
5.
Bret Hart.
4 out of 10. I've got 4 out of 10 too. So 2 Brets and a 5.
2 Brets and a Bundy. 2 Brets and a Bundy.
That's a t-shirt. Get that on a t-shirt. A lovely hype video now for a substandard podcast that appears on the WWE network. Something else.
I had to laugh. I thought, now what's going to happen here?
Yeah, with our favourite dickhead, Bruce Pritchard. Along with...
But he's changed his name, Because I thought it was something to wrestle with, and that was just something wrestling with us.
No, something else to wrestle with, so it's like...
it was just their version,
But he's going to... Conrad Thompson's not even shown. Like, Vince ain't showing a big fat wrestling fan.
Who's him?
He's a mark. And along with something we will definitely see in the future, I've got no doubt, highlights of the greatest Royal Rumble steel cage debacle.
Legends ruin the reputation.
Can I just say, what the fucking hell was that finish? It gets even worse every time you see it.
When you see it. But the fact that they acknowledge they screwed up, the ref had to tweet, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about
Yeah,
it.
she looked like Mike Dean or anything doing that. I don't care.
I don't know whether it was just, I don't know what happened. I don't know whether Brock was supposed to roll off first and that counts or what.
No, I honestly think that they thought it wouldn't be an issue. No one would question the fact
then
that he
everybody-
touched first, because he would naturally touch first because his back went down, and then obviously everyone went, well, it ain't that, is it?
It's
Is that the rules?
He might have hit the floor, but there was a cage between them. Have you not seen the Kofi spot with a pancake?
His feet are in the air, though. It's just nonsense, isn't it? Absolute nonsense. But we'll be back for you. Greatest Royal Rumble.
Saudi Arabia, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you, brother.
Actually, we've heard that. They'll be coming for us, I think.
Yeah, it's true. They won't be coming for the women, though, will they? And we get a Samoa Joe backstage interview.
Samoa Joe. Joe, after the brutal beatings Roman suffered at the hands of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and the Greatest Royal Rumble, do you think that Roman is rattled heading into your match tonight?
Rattled. No, you don't seem to understand. Rattled is not a strong enough word. This is a man who's lost his confidence. He's lost a little bit of speed, a little bit of power, and a whole lot of his determination. But most importantly, tonight, he is a man who loses to me. And you're asking the wrong questions. You're asking me how Roman Reigns feels. You should ask how I want him to feel. And tonight, he will feel pain. Tonight, Roman Reigns will close his eyes. And every time he does, he will see my face and he will lament all his failures. The big dog. Tonight, I turn the big dog into a whimpering puppy.
He gets a pop.
He does get a pop, that's mainly because he's fighting Roman. But,
To be fair, Joe does get a pop whoever he fights, really, when you see
yeah, I mean, he plays the badass quite well, but the promo feels like it's written by Vince McMahon.
Oh, of course
There's
it
no
is.
real character behind it, is there? It's a
Okay.
bog standard, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah,
And you're a little puppy.
yeah,
I'm going to turn the big dog into a puppy.
yeah.
One day I'm going to put that dog down.
Yeah, exactly. You could say that.
Puppy, I'm going
That's bullying.
I'm going
That's bullying. That's pulling out of it.
Shoot the dog.
Right, that's a spice.
Yeah, definitely.
Good, Michael.
Shoot the dog. Bloody
That
hell.
should have been the theme for the pay-per-view.
I'm going to shoot the dog.
Beware.
If that was at the Greatest Royal Rumble, he could probably get away with it.
No, you're going to have Beware of Dog 3. Sometimes.
Big dog.
Big Dog 3. Big Dog.
Now dogs of war.
Oh dear. So, we get match number 3, which is Randall Orton.
Face Orton.
Contending against Jeff Hardy for the US title. And there's clips showing what caused Orton to turn, which was basically Jeff taking a match against Shelton
yeah.
off him. Oh, what is a fat show? No, I'm fat. That's you with fat.
This is 2004, damn it.
Why ain't Shelton in the match?
I love Shelton. Why
Well,
are they
just
doing
put
more
it
with... I'll put here. Shelton Benjamin, remember him? I love Shelton Benjamin. He should be in more stuff. Jeff Hardy starts well with a jawbreaker, springboard, black baseball slide, and clothesline from the apron. But I did feel, as popular as Jeff is, and he is easy to watch because he bumps around so well, his offense is always the bloody same.
Yeah. One thing I will say, he looked like he was wearing a bin bag.
He did. He
I
looked like
was
that.
like, is he wearing a bin bag?
I'll put it in the
Bin bag,
crowd.
Big bag Jeff.
The crowd is still flat, and I should have introduced our new commentary team, which is the SmackDown brand.
Oh, yeah.
Commentary
Tom.
team.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves.
Sorry, because we've not got anyone else.
Yeah,
So
and you don't want Tom and Byron. Even Tom can't carry you.
No. Tom Phillips incorrectly calls Orton a second-generation superstar, and is quickly corrected by Corey. That is third-generation.
Third, you fool.
As
That was
Jeff,
first time in 10 years they do get that over there.
yeah.
Royal Rumble 2008, he jumped off the Ross head.
Yeah. The thing is, though,
People don't remember the shit, so we
They
can
could've
tell them what
liked
we
that.
want to tell them.
They could have hyped that, though, couldn't they? At least people would have cared that there
And the
was a
fact
bit of
that
extra.
Orton kicked Matt in where his appendix used to be, that was the build-up.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. No wonder Matt was broken.
As As Jeff Hardy now hits a dive to the outside on Randy. There's a nice drop kick by Randy Orton, which he always does well. Followed by triple back drops onto the guardrails. How can you ever have Randy Orton as a face? He's
all his moves are heel as well.
All his moves are heel, and his face is a heel. Yeah. He has a heel
Even
face.
His hair is heel.
Yeah, his hair is a heel haircut. Do you have a heel and a face haircut? Well, Randy pulls it off. Jeff fights back now with his standard offense, culminating in a whisper in the wind.
This is the first crowd hijack. Because I put Rusev Day chant.
Oh, do they? I must have missed this one.
It's when the leg lock occurs.
Yeah.
There was a couple of dead spots which I've
and the stupid
conveniently edited out.
Did you hear the comment by was it Tom? He called it Hardiac arrest.
Yeah,
that was Corey. That was it. The drop kick in the corner.
Hardiac arrest. He had a heart attack.
That's what I was trying to get over as the name of it.
Nonsense.
Just a drop kick to me.
There's a tease for the RKO that leads to a snap body slam for a 2 by Orton, and then vintage Orton DDT. Vintage Orton, and then he plays the heel to the crowd and teases the RKO, but Jeff counters into a twist of fate and a swanton for a 3.
How long did this feud go on? Because they wrestled each other at the end of the year, don't they? Did it carry on, or did they have separate
feuds? I think they carried on, because I'm sure in the next pay-per-view, the screwdriver incident.
No, it was
Hell in a Cell.
That was October.
Oh, so it was still going on for a while then.
Yeah, he got injured, did he, Jeff?
Did he have to give the title up?
Did they go out for a little bit and then he come back?
I think so. I can't remember. It's so long ago.
He's injured now anyway.
He's injured a lot, isn't he, Jeff?
He does a lot of crazy shit, that's right.
40 odd!
Yeah, stop it,
Jeff.
Just some headlocks.
Do some drugs, he was alright.
I wouldn't advocate that.
Thoughts on the match, Jack?
I don't think it was bad, but I don't think there was anything brilliant in there. It's not a match that you're going to shit all over, but it's not a match you're going to go out your way to see.
Completely.
It was a bog standard. Orton phoned it in a little bit, and even when he phoned it in, he's still good. Jeff got his shit in, and it was fine. I couldn't fault it.
So. Yeah, it's a serviceable match. Orton would have been better if he was full blown heel, because really he was a face, and he's
still trying to be cool heel though, isn't he?
He always
is cool heel, like he tries to be the cool heel. And I get that, but sometimes it is just better to be like a cunt. If you am a cunt, just be a cunt.
Yeah.
It's better to
come out vaping.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoking or whatever.
Yeah, come out and say, "Smell my hand" or whatever it is.
Shake my hand.
Shake my balls hand.
Allegedly.
Well, yes, allegedly.
For legal reasons. Allegedly. We don't have a legal team.
This is the legal team of Better Call Creative.
You've got nothing to do with this.
I just thought it was a bit... It frustrated me that I could have coordinated...
Who was the agent?
I don't know. I think it was Malenko. You know who Michael Hayes did the agent of,
probably the title match.
No.
Oh, the
last
event
match.
then.
No, the people left.
But he did that long tongue of death grip.
Yeah, it was a frustrating match, shall we say?
Yeah, it could have. It could have been better if they both.
But it wasn't terrible.
No, it was serviceable enough as a pay-per-view match. It just did nothing to enhance the storyline and did nothing to add any sort of colour to the feud.
No.
Our next segment is Elias.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elias.
Hello, I am Elias. And I have one question. question for everybody here tonight. Who wants to walk with Elias? Now, I am good friends with New Jersey's own Bruce Springsteen. That's right, we go to parties together, we talk about music, we talk about life, I give him advice. I mean, he calls me the boss. He tells me, of all the great things he's done, his only regret is that he's from New Jersey. And I said, brother, I get it. This place is a toilet. I mean, in fact, he can't stand the whole tri-state area, but I texted him earlier. I said, hey, Bruce, tune in tonight. I've got a song. I think you're going to like it. So, Bruce, this one's for you. But first I need you all to silence your cell phones. Hold your applause. Oh, hey, guess what? If you're not gonna listen, then I'm not gonna perform tonight. Okay, if that's how you feel, then I'm gonna leave.
And I've just put here, at last, saved by boredom, because the last two matches were a bit of a slog. He's out and introduced and says Bruce Springsteen calls him the boss.
The boss.
Oh, what a
I'm the boss.
Or Spike. Or nails her.
Yeah. And he bashes New Jersey, so it must have been in New Jersey.
Yeah.
He dedicates his song to Bruce, and the crowd... the crowd are completely in his hands.
Absolutely.
Boo.
That was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Elias got so overcoming up to the main roster.
The thing is, it's okay with Elias. Just let him get them reactions and be a heel, as they probably learnt. But he is brilliant. He is
him and Owens get the longest sustained boo for ages when he said about
the basketball.
Yeah, they've got no sports teams, and even Owens, you can see him like smiling at you. Well, we've got over here.
Yeah, brilliant. He threatens to leave, and then there's the boo and the cheers, and gets interrupted by the New Day, who are just equally as over as the crowd going, fucking Big E with no top line and a drum. It's almost the greatest thing I have ever seen.
One of them is WWE champ.
I just fucking love Big E.
Big E
is amazing.
We love you, Big E.
Oh, he's just superb. You can't turn him heel either because you'd miss that. Big E. He would work as a heel, but he's just so good.
Brilliant.
Elias asks if they want his autograph, and the New Day offer to jam with Elias or walk with Elias. Elias tells them to take a hike, and then he's interrupted by Aiden English.
Oh, what a pop!
Oh,
so over.
Well, as much as I think.
Not for Aiden.
It's not for Aiden.
No,
I know who he's introduced.
No, it's because he's Rusev.
Oh, fucking Rusev! Why did they not capitalise on Rusev?
Because they didn't make it.
You
Rusev
idiots.
made it.
He's getting over. Did we book it? No. Punish him.
Make him heel.
Aiden English cuts a rap and introduces Rusev Day. And the crowd up on here are fucking nuclear hot as Rusev comes out. Elias again tries to get up with his song.
This is his gimmick. He gets interrupted.
And then No Way Jose's music.
Another boy of yours.
I do like No Way Jose.
His music is fucking brilliant. It's amazing. The new No Way Jose.
That was just the promos to NXT.
Just brilliant. However, he's not alone, as Titus Worldwide with him.
I saw him, but I thought, what's Titus?
I remember because he fell over there at the Rumble. That's why
So
he's
now,
winning.
now he's comedy.
He's got to be on every segment.
In Saudi show.
And the Fashion Police with him as well.
Breezango.
Breezango. And behind
The Rosebuds.
and they're dancing around the ring, and Elias demands that he stops and warns that nobody better interrupt him this time. And we get glorious Bobby Roode's theme hit.
We got to get that little bit.
Yes. Fabulous theme. And Bobby Roode hits the ring and hits the glorious DDT. And then the conga carries on. And Bobby Roode starts joining in dancing.
So it's twerking.
He's a heel. He's a heel.
His face at this point.
Well, no, he's a face, but he's a heel gimmick.
It is a
Better
heel.
in a heel.
Yeah, we know that, but I mean, he did twerk. I mean, Bobby Roode, the
he-
picture of
he-
Bobby
he-
Roode in a bathrobe twerking.
It should have been
In
Flair.
front of Rusev.
It should have been Flair.
Yeah, that's-
He's doing his little strut like he did when they had
I'd be worried
what was
times
it?
and I
Pop
think-
Goes the Weasel.
The musical
The
chairs.
musical chairs, Eugene, and Flair doing it, and then going mad.
I mean, WWE do miss the point a lot of the time with comedy, but this was pretty good.
This one, I was surprised with this because I saw it live and then everybody coming out. I thought, I bet they'd screw this up. I thought, no.
I thought it was really. I thought amazing. That's how
10 out of 10.
Corey wasn't happy.
I think it was
Corey
mainly
didn't look
how
happy.
smiley I was when I heard No Way Jose's theme, to be honest. But
It's
yeah,
the first time you've saw him since then.
yeah. Well, I thought, where's his dreadlocks?
Yeah,
He's
I
not
thought it was,
green.
I thought it was good. I thought, it's a comedy spot. I think it was needed at this point as well to bring the crowd
Yeah,
back
just
into it.
like a little bit of a
It's just
breather.
a comic relief. Just have a bit of nonsense.
Yeah.
And Elias
Keep
is
the
the
show
right
going.
heel you could do.
He ain't going to hurt
Yeah.
anyone.
No.
It's only going to help everyone, really.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Elias with any sort of feud, it's a bit like where we are with Bray, I suppose, is that when the character is so good, the feud never matches up with how
Yeah.
good the character
Eventually
is.
you have to get in the ring.
Yeah, and it's not his fault because he can wrestle, but you always just think, I wish he was just having his thing.
He got all of them just stick when he first come up.
Yeah.
So now you loved him on
I loved
NXT.
him
I
on
liked him,
NXT,
and I
yeah.
just thought, why is everybody hating?
Oh, he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
He's
well, he is,
just
yeah.
brilliant. He's
Mark.
just brilliant. So yes, amazing. We go forward now to our next video hype package for Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass.
Big ass.
Or Big Ass, if you will.
He got fired after this, did he?
No, Money in the
No,
Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Oh, was it Money in the
It's
Bank? I
another
thought he got
match.
fired in this.
Yeah, he has another chance.
Another match with him.
Against Bryan.
No, midgets!
Yeah, Big Cass had already turned a heel the year before on.
Yeah, he turned
no,
heel,
no,
knackered
no,
his
no.
leg. And then he come back on SmackDown. He was one in the shake-up.
Yeah.
Imagine him in the bloody wild card, having him on every show.
Poor Big Cass. He's
Yeah.
very thick, isn't he? He's like a very thick, muscular man. Like you're not
ain't
massively
him.
defined.
He ain't defined, is he? He's quite, he is quite,
Chunky.
meaty.
Yeah, he's
Was
got
he
a lot
chunky
of meat
Kit
on
Very
it.
tan.
yeah, he's a chunky Kit Kat.
Very tan as well. Loves a tan.
Yeah, he does love a
he's
tan.
very orange. I think I put that somewhere. Yeah, Cass is very brown.
He is.
He's like a hot dog.
He's massive, massive hot dog.
He's a jumbo hot dog. Foot long.
The feud itself is pretty much big man picking on little man. Have they done that already tonight? I don't know.
No, it was little woman picks on big woman.
We've reversed.
That's what happens with women.
Don't be a bully.
Whereas if you're a man, you little man.
And I think the idea behind this is Cass feels overlooked because Daniel Bryan has recently returned from injury. So has Cass, but no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
And no
Even
one
if,
still
to be fair,
gives a shit.
if nobody had come back with Big Cass, nobody would give a shit
No.
if he come back anyway.
No one would care.
No one cares, Cass.
So,
Enjoy Ring of Honor.
yeah, here we go. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Early on, Big Cass dominates Daniel Bryan and they spill outside. Daniel Bryan hits a running diving knee and a drop kick, and then the yes kicks, but gets tossed aside on the third.
Did you hear the We Want Enzo chant?
Yeah.
Even I was disappointed with that.
Tell me, what's the fuck's the matter with the crowd when they want fucking Enzo?
Yeah,
But okay, I'm in New
Different time
Jersey.
back then.
Jesus Christ.
How's worse to styling?
Yeah. Big Cass beats down on Daniel Bryan and then locks in a backbreaker, which did look quite good. Daniel Bryan manages to break loose and hits a drop toe hold and then hits running kicks, but Cass flapjacks him on the third attempt and hits a big clothesline for a 2. There's a series of short arm clotheslines by Cass and then he mocks the boos. Just pathetically mocks the boo.
Well, that's what he did.
Yeah.
He a lot.
Cass then goes for the big boot but misses, and the yes lock is locked in slowly. Eventually is locked in, and then immediately he taps out straight away. Really bad psychology anyway.
Took me off guard, didn't it?
Yeah.
He finished already.
It's bad psychology because I mean it literally shows him that he doesn't have to fight.
You're a weak hot dog.
Yeah, you're a weak hot dog. Cass, take that. Have that on Twitter, you big weak hot dog. So yeah, Daniel Bryan has beat Cass. Is this their first match on pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Then obviously Cass eliminated him in the Royal Rumble.
Greatest Royal Rumble ever.
The last time, the one and only time Bryan will ever go back to Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, he's not.
He refused the crown jewel and he refused this one because of the things with equality. I think.
Yeah,
I think that was his reason.
Yeah,
or the murder of somebody.
Yeah, just those small reasons.
I've just been in a battle royal anyway, so
yeah, that's very.
I could have win it, man. So.
But the one who owns Man City.
That's what Oh, really one.
Thoughts on this debacle, Jack?
It's a total debacle. Sorry, I had to say
well, you know, if you're doing with it, then Big Cass surely has to win. Especially when you have the beatdown after, so you want the heat for him. Just have him win.
Well, I just don't get what's the point in having these two together. Because I don't think unless you am going to give Cass the rub by having Bryan give him a win, then you get nothing from it.
No,
you can't really just get Bryan back after 2 or 3 years of him being injured and then job him out to someone who ain't been on the bloody roster for a year. So it's just dead from the start. You could have built to this. If you'd have built Cass up a bit, it would have been more interesting.
It's a bit weird that he comes straight back into it. I know there's a narrative there of he's injured, so's him, and then he gets no fanfare. I understand that there's a narrative to his anger, but if you're going to do it, Big Cass has surely got to win because he's got more to lose from losing than Daniel Bryan.
Can you imagine if he did? The heat.
Oh yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's okay to get heat and get the crowd pissed off because they feel like the wrong person's won. So that's the point, isn't it? You want your heels to be. That's what I mean. That's the thing with Corbin.
Yeah.
Corbin's probably the most natural heel that they've got because people genuinely don't like him, and that's fine.
I like you, Barry.
Yeah, Sam, do you have anything to add on?
It was a typical match, but I'm not a fan of Big Cass.
Typical match between the ropes.
Sorry, it happened. A typical big man, little man match. I just think he could have done without it, to be honest. I know that they just wanted to get Bryan on as many shows because he's just come back.
Out of 10, Jack? 5.
I'm going to be giving her another Brett.
So we've got 2 Bretts and a King.
No, it's just 2 Bretts and a Bundy.
2 Bretts and a Bundy. 4, 4 and 5. So we head forward now to our Women's Championship match from SmackDown, and defending the belt is Carmella who had recently cashed in her Money in the Bank contract. What happens if they don't cash it in by the following Money in the Bank? Is it null and void?
Yeah, you just lose it, do you?
Has anyone ever really played that? No
Brock?
one's ever really
Oh, they
played.
need to do that with Brock.
You know what I mean? No one's
That'd be
ever
quite
played like
a-
you've got
cash it
24
in.
hours to cash it in, like, and...
No, they've never done that.
They've never done
narrative.
it.
No, there you go.
I don't
And
think
we
they could
forgot
hold
it.
on for a year though. Could
No,
They could
not
do what we
nowadays.
did on
See, I
2K.
can hold on for a
For a
show. So there's a video package hyping Carmella cashing in the Money in the Bank contract against Charlotte to hype up the match. Early on in the match, Carmella wants none of Charlotte and teases leaving the match. Charlotte gets on top.
Can I ask a question?
You can.
No.
Where's the Queen City? What is it?
I
Because I've actually put here, QPR, Queen of the South, Queen Park. Is there a park in this? Is this the city, is it?
Maybe she's a really big fan of Queen's Park. Who
From
knows?
the Queen's Park.
From the Queen's Park, Scotland. Charlotte gets on top, and after a dive outside, Carmella hits a high knee and gets a 2. And I put here that the rest hold seems to last quite a while.
I think
Oh,
they're trying to
so-
fill the time, ain't they?
Yeah.
But it went so quiet.
Really deadly quiet.
Carmella had to keep squealing in
Yeah.
my head.
Squealing, bloody wench. Charlotte finally
That's all in Caleb.
Charlotte finally escapes and hits chops, and there's a nice sequence as Charlotte is hair pulled onto the apron, which they do quite nicely. There's a nice spear by Charlotte, and Carmella locks in a face hold, but Charlotte breaks it and hits a big boot for a 2 count. But the shitty ending, there's Charlotte Flair goes up top for a moonsault.
Oh, and then
Runs underneath.
The knee!
Runs the knee, gets a kick to a knee, and then rolls her through for a 3 count. This is the woman who's just defeated Asuka's undefeated streak, and she's losing because she's got a poorly knee.
bad knee.
Imagine if they did that with Brock.
They even work out.
With
What
Brock,
they do, really?
No, there's nothing.
I wanted to see that now with Brock after he beat Taker at Mania. The next pay-per-view, he goes for an F5, hurts his knee, roll up,
Roll up, and then Kurt,
back to UFC.
Kurt Hawkins has beaten. Just meant nothing. Jack, thoughts on the second women's championship match of the night?
Well, I think they needed the match because obviously she's lost the belt, so she gets the rightful rematch. But everybody knows that Carmella's never going to beat Charlotte, so you need some sort of finish, and I think it's very uninspiring and not really
Well, that's what they did
creative
with
to
the
do
feud
the
after.
knee.
No, yeah,
Just blowing out from underneath.
you could have
Very
bumped up
flat.
Ellsworth or
Yeah, put the Ellsworth
forward.
spot.
Well,
You needed something
You needed
to
something.
create.
Well, you needed
that,
something,
but
but
this just a moonsault. I've hurt my knee, roll up, and I've lost.
Yeah, and I just, I like Carmella. I think she's a good character and a solid worker, but you feel like you've derailed 2 of your main products by Asuka not winning and then Charlotte, losing in this fashion.
It's more brought Charlotte down than push Carmella up.
Yeah, it's just it's no good. Sam,
Yeah, it was all that good. Flat finish, very quiet, very slow, slightly annoying.
yeah,
Just 'cause I
all of
was
the
up.
above. I'll put it.
it.
I'll tell you mine. 3 out of 10. This pay-per-view is dying. Jack, want any
Yeah,
advance on 3?
3 out of 10, I think.
Yeah, I'd have said 3 and all.
Yeah, well, I can't think of anything.
3-3-3.
Yeah, 3-3-3.
3 count.
The number of half a beast. So yeah,
The slightly miffed.
yeah, but I do feel like having gone into WrestleMania with 2 hot females in Nia Jax and Asuka, we've got to Backlash and extinguish
we've killed them.
those, and it does create the pathway for
We push women.
Becky
Becky,
and Ronda to take the lead after this, but it is a shame. It's a damn shame. Barnes Courtney now gets a plug for his album. I enjoy it.
Oh,
It's a
with
good
the
album.
theme, mate.
Yes, old Barnes.
Champion! Championship! Go to Preston.
Oh shit, we just lost a Robin Hood, haven't we?
Yeah.
Bloody carrier.
Yeah, I think we've had a better year than us.
Yeah, I don't mind losing in the Champions League final. The next match is a WWE Championship match as Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles video package is played. This is their third contest within the space of 4 or 5 weeks. As you've had
the one,
as you've had the quite disappointing, should we say, WrestleMania bout where Shinsuke turns heel, and the one over in Saudi Arabia, which no one really gives a shit about, where it was ended with a countout.
Yeah, something like that.
So AJ was beating him up outside the ring. So the last thing you want in match 3 is a non-finish. So Shinsuke and Nakamura and AJ Styles. We get the
Shinsuke and Nakamura.
Yeah,
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, I love saying that, don't you?
the champion introduction, as they're both hyped in the corners. Thoughts on their two themes? If you had to pick one, Sam, which one are you picking?
Well, was this the first time he had his heel thing, Nakamura?
I think he
did it on a SmackDown.
Yeah, I think he might have had it
because they had the beginning of the music video there with him playing the thing. And they only did that to stop people singing his thing. That's the only reason they did it. I would probably pick Nakamura because he's closer to the style of music I like. Really.
So you're going to go with Nak as well?
No, I think AJ suits him more. It always surprises me that was written for James Storm. AJ's theme
Styles,
was written for James Storm when when he was on NXT.
They thought
he was going to sign him, and then it went to AJ.
I think
he likes rap though, don't he, AJ?
Rap!
He's a hop fan.
It's crap.
Yeah, he is.
I hate rap because it's crap. I think I would go with AJ Styles only just, but I do look both.
Yeah, they do fit each other, but me personally, if I had to pick one, it'd be
nothing wrong with it. Yeah, the match opens up. I put here. There's a great fast start to the match as it spills outside, and Styles starts showing intensity as he tosses Nakamura around the ring. There's a nice backbreaker inside, and fuck me, Nakamura playing a heel. He's so beautiful. He's so brilliant as a heel.
He's good.
And I put here, he plays the heel with face rakes and things like that. AJ sells a knee charge into the steps. Did you see when he got tossed in and how much height?
Fucking skate. I don't know where we did it.
It was amazing how hard he went into.
It's similar to when Foley used to do it. But this one obviously is a bit more athletic.
Oh man, it was a flip he did. It was unbelievable. The noise, you just thought, Jesus.
Well done, AJ.
There's a lovely knee shot on AJ on the apron as Nakamura lays him over the apron and hits him with a really stiff looking knee. And I've put here, I miss Nakamura. I was really
there was genuine chance. The crowd woke up for this match, though, because you could have like the.
Well, this is.
Let's go Cena sucks. You had like AJ Styles, Nakamura. Basically, the older fans have to go against the others. So let's cheer for Naka, even though.
There's nothing wrong.
That would like AJ.
There's wrong with building that. He can still be a heel, and people like that. It's fine. Like.
Yeah, that's what they'll just do it for the sake. They're smart.
I've put here that he kicks AJ and then chokes him in the corner where he does his vibrating foot choke.
The bad vibration.
Bad vibration. It's called now. There's a stiff kick that lays out Styles, and I've put Strong Style is on show with the knees to AJ's face because Christ Almighty, he knees AJ's face.
Well, I did that at Wrestle Kingdom before they both got signed, didn't they? You saw the knees then.
Yeah, I put here. There was a "We want tables" chant.
Yeah, it annoyed me.
What? There's no need.
The match is flowing nice and going well, and then the
it's just because it's noDQ. If you say anything like that, you
just
get a
enjoy
table
the match because it's obviously flowing nice.
You don't need all this.
Not at all. Not at all. AJ crashes ribs first on the outside, and Shinsuke locks in a Dragon Sleeper. Styles reverses out of this and teases the Fantastic Forearm. Is it called Fantastic? Phenomenal.
Not Fantastic Forearm.
I am fantastic. Yeah, the Fantastic Forearm. That's the finishing manoeuvre of the thing. Shinsuke hits a jumping knee and a landslide for a 2 count. And I put here that this match now starts to deserve a better crowd as there are chants and starting to piss me off.
Yeah.
The stomps outside as Nakamura gets a chair. He eventually hits a reverse exploder onto the chair. Kinshasa is teased, but Styles throws the chair at him as he goes for it. but it fucking ripped his face open, didn't it?
Well, I thought at first it hit him, and I don't see it, and then when he showed it in slow motion, because he come up and he
Smashed his
fucking
face,
sliced and all the
Completely
blood.
sliced the
Horrible.
open.
I mean, it hurt Nakamura as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
threw a chair into his knee.
Ah, bloody hell.
AJ locks in the calf crusher and Nakamura breaks out of it, but there's a nice sequence leading to a running forearm to the back of Nakamura's head, which they slow down and you see him punch him in the back of the head. It is unbelievable. Nakamura hits the low blow, and then so does AJ Styles, and the crowd do pop big for those two low blows.
Get him in the deck. Basically, the feud.
That's it. Either kick him in the dick or put him through a table. We're not. That's all we want.
That's what we want.
Tables and cakes and dick.
The both men sort
What a
of
strange crowd, New Jersey. I'll say that.
really are. They sort of wrestle back and forth as they both get back to the feet, and then both men low blow each other kick each other in the bollocks.
Yeah.
And the referee counts both of them out, and the crowd are pissed.
Yeah.
But I must admit, I thought this is their best match out of the three. That
It was
I've
really,
seen.
really
It was the best match. It was just the shame the finish was shit.
Yeah.
This was awful.
I was
I have no
wanky.
idea what they're doing there. The finish is terrible, but the whole match itself was really good.
Yeah, I thought that it was. I mean, it was a really, really good match, but you can't possibly get involved when the finish is that bad.
Everybody remembers it for the finish,
Yeah.
and that's the shame of it.
my groin. That's basically
It killed Nakamura.
Oh,
More
yeah.
than
He
AJ.
next
He
holy
done that.
Well, what did he do after that? What
Did he
he
ever
do
get
at Money
a-
in the Bank? Did he get another match?
Was he in the Money in the Bank?
No, don't think so. Don't think he was in here.
Because it was the year before was when him and AJ teased the match, don't they? Because that was both in Money in the Bank.
We thought
Didn't he fight Joe though soon after this, AJ? I think Joe
He
was
went
pushed
into the feud, up to SummerSlam Day, where it was, yeah, I know your wife and kids. Actually,
How'd your wife? How'd your kids?
Is that right? Such a good match, but ruined because WWE just can't give one of them a
just give him
fucking
a clean finish. And he'd
I just like Nakamura's, on the promo package. I'm thinking back when he low blows him on SmackDown. He's like,
Nakamura, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the greatest talents that they've got, and they haven't got a bloody clue how to use
They
him.
put him with Rusev, and both of them everybody likes, but nobody knows what they're doing.
They got a clue how to book him.
Not
just let
a
him be
clue.
himself.
He's just brilliant, and it doesn't matter if they're cheering because he's fucking mad. He's mad. He is literally mental. But you've got to mark it out of 10, and I need the whole match score, Jack. You can't just focus on the.
It would have been like a 9.5, but I'm going to give it an 8 because of the finish.
Sam, any?
I was going to say 7. 7.5. Again, it's the finish. And the crowd.
It's a bit harsh to mark the crowd, but the crowd.
No, everybody did it with Ciampa and Gargano when they was on Raw, don't they? All the smart. They're good. They when they debuted all the NXT ones when Vince went, oh god, this product shit. NXT. And then the crowd just didn't give a shit. Where was he?
It's a good job he got injured, otherwise what would have happened with him?
Oh god, I have heaven fucking forbid.
What would have happened?
Oh man, I hate the product at the moment so much. But yeah,
And this was a year ago.
But at least I saw Shinsuke Nakamura fight AJ Styles, which it was worth the.
What happened nowadays?
Why is it not main event?
Ah.
'Cause I remember watching this when last year, and I obviously don't know the results, and I was watching it, and when it come up AJ v Nakamura next, I thought, well, I know what the main event is, which is terrible, but why is... I mean, it is the main event. It's a WWE title. It's never in the main event anyway at this point.
Look, can you imagine the fucking thing?
I know the
it was
finish.
the same finish at the end of the show. That takes good
I
night.
think the finish, obviously, I
That's what
understand.
they determined, but they could have had. Well, they should have had a different finish as
Should have
well.
had
They should have had it
a
in the main
finish.
event and should have had a different finish.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all.
Figure out our cards.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's just stupid. But in the run up to in the run up to the podcast, I was obviously looking at the show notes, and you can get obviously websites hyping up Backlash before it happened, and all the run up it was saying this is going to be the main event. So they've obviously changed it on the night again for absolutely no reason. It's just fucking stupid. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It deserves so much better.
The whole feud did, to be honest. This is what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind Nakamura turning heel. Either one could have been the heel.
And this is the thing. It's hard to criticise someone like Vince or someone like the WWE as a whole, saying that they're not in touch with what they're doing, because they are the biggest company there's ever been and ever likely to be. But they have to at some point start to realise now that people know what they're doing. The wrestlers do know what they're doing. Yeah. If you'd have just let AJ Styles and Nakamura get on with it, they'd have had brilliant matches, constantly brilliant matches. It's not hard.
You get involved with the lower card to help them if they need it, and then your top stars you leave to it.
All you tell them is who you want to win. That's it. Yeah. You just say,
this is what we're going for. This is the narrative.
The only thing they had to do with this match was give them a decent ending, and they failed. Yeah. Everything else was brilliant. Yeah. It's just so annoying.
Who was the agent?
AJ Styles Nakamura was produced by Ring of Honor World Champion
Carino Pierce,
Jamie Noble.
Oh, is it Noble?
Jamie Noble.
He's alright.
Our next match,
Joey Mercury's one as well.
Yeah. I'll get to it. The Nia Jax Alexa Bliss title match was done by Sarah Stock, who's TNA's Sarita.
Yeah.
And the Carmella Charlotte match was done by Johnny Ace. Big Cass and Daniel Bryan was done by Dean Malenko. The segment with Elias was produced by Scott Armstrong. And Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy was produced by Arn Anderson.
Arn.
Yeah. Fucking Arn, he was phoning it in. Hardy got
fine match. Actually, it was an 8.
No, but they told him, like, my God!
Oh, I forgot Jeff Hardy.
But we go forward.
Bring back the chill Sorry, Arn, I love you, Arn.
But we go forward.
Enjoy AEW, because that's where you'll be ending up.
Yeah, if the smarks like us didn't like the ending of that match, they're not going to like this match, because it's Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
That finish then kills most of the rest of the card, because then,
then you follow these two,
and then you've got the main event. You've killed it.
Yeah. Can't believe it.
After this, I thought, well, I know there's one match, but I thought there's a lot of time left. And then it dawned on me, so very many tag matches on this show.
Oh God, I wish there wasn't any. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and
where's his green belt?
Sami Zayn.
He had the big flimsy trophy. That broke at this point. So I was expecting it.
The best bit of this whole match was the still shot that they had of him holding the belt with that little grin. That's my favourite.
We got a job for life.
We get the commentary introductions for both teams, and the match starts. Sami Zayn begs off BobbyLashley, who dominates in it.
Before this, did they show the greatest Royal Rumble trophy? They say Sami Zayn couldn't go because he said he had vertigo. Are you sure about that? I think we all know, Corey.
I think it might be something to do with his nationality.
Well, nothing had happened at that point, had he? They hadn't killed the bloke. It was up to Ground Jewel.
No, I mean, it's because he's Syrian. Yeah, that's why they don't like him anyway.
But nobody was refusing at that.
There's only Sami Zayn.
Well, they wouldn't allow him anyway.
No, he's equal.
Yeah. Davari.
Babatunde. You're Polish, you're Nigerian, we don't mind. Come here.
Bobby Lashley continues to dominate Kevin Owens, and then finally Sami Zayn gets a bit of offense. Owens hits a senton and heel isolates Bobby Lashley. Bobby tries to make the hot tag, but he's blocked, but finally does. The best spot of the whole match is the Braun Strowman train spot outside, where he just barges Kevin Owens and then pushes Sami Zayn into it.
Too quick, so he had to sort of stumble into the.
But he does it well. He really does it well. Sami Zayn now starts to argue with Owens because he wants none of this, and he goes to leave but throws Owens in. Then Owens returns the favour. Sami Zayn then slaps Kevin Owens.
Get it?
We'll get to this. We don't understand it either. Sami Zayn slaps Kevin Owens, but manages to escape. Kevin Owens then is alone. Lashley picks him up, hits the stalling suplex.
Yeah, for the win. Yeah, that was his
stalling
finish.
Suplex. This is a former Universal Champion pinfall. The commentary team then discuss who was legal.
Oh, Owens.
The commentary team
after Saudi Arabia's favourite wrestler Goldberg beat him.
The commentary team discuss who was legal, and I put who cares. Have you got anything to add to that, Jack? What the hell was that?
I don't know. It felt like a house show or a Raw match, really. They felt like pay-per-view. I don't know why it was.
Couldn't this be on the go? Oh no, it caught. One of them couldn't be.
I didn't like it. I don't get the thing after either. What the power slamming him 50 times for?
That was his
gimmick.
He
did it with Triple H.
That threw me off. I thought, okay, that's it. He'll just finish and get to. And then there was like throwing him in, and he's.
They're just completely stalling for
what
time.
What are you doing this shit for?
It's just stupid.
Well,
Stupid booking.
bad.
I don't even think they was particularly trying to bury him, because I don't think it really hurts Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because they're just they're so good at what
just
they do.
gone back to Raw, and they have to be fired from an angle with his TNA.
It was more just what
I heard a TNA.
What is the point in this? What is the point?
I think him slowly killing Braun, and I mean Bobby's only just gone back and he feels like it's bloody hell, it's Bobby, and Braun's slowly derailing all his momentum.
Has Bobby Lashley's sisters happened yet?
No, this is after. I think Sami Zayn goes into the feud with him after doing.
Yeah, because I split them up as a tag down quickly after.
Kevin
Braun
Owens
does
in
the Money in the Bank. Yeah, he goes with Owens in the Money in the Bank, and then he does
throws him off the
thing.
What? Hey,
got to mark
a year later, Strowman and Lashley are feuding.
Yeah, oh, well.
Two big men.
Yeah.
You
pointed at my ass. Look at my ass.
Got to mark it out of 10, Jack.
I'm going to give it a Brett. I'm going to give it a 4, which is probably generous. I don't think it was that bad.
I gave it a 5 because I said it was better than I remember, because it was. And then I'll tell you the only reason I thought it was better than I remember, because I loved.
Because you couldn't remember it.
No, because that, and I loved
this happened.
Kevin Owens getting run over by
trash talking.
So basically, it would have been a 0, but Kevin Owens getting run over.
At that point, I would have marked it probably 1, but that that made it as good as anything else on the card up to now, apart from 2 matches. Sam?
3.
Yeah, that's it. It was
Sam's the
and basically 1.5 Owens, the other 1.5 Sami Zayn.
Yeah, pretty
4
much.
Strowman, because I do like him, but
he just didn't need this.
No,
if you're going to have it, you might as well have just had Braun versus the two of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you're going to do it,
Lashley's not needed with his stupid headband.
Well, Lashley just becomes the other man in this feud, which then I mean that's the problem, because he cannot stand out. That's the biggest problem with Bobby Lashley. He just can't stand out. So then, if you shove him in a 4-person match like this with 2 really good heels and 1 huge character, pointless. He's the other man. No one cares. You can give him the stalling suit. Who's the 4th man?
Which side is he on? We don't know either.
No one cares. But the best is yet to come. Before that, though, we get the Money in the Bank hype.
Money!
Pay-per-view.
Money.
Donald Trump. I wonder if they'll waste the Money in the Bank concept this year. Well. And then we get...
cash it in the Crown Jewel.
He did the other one.
Hell in the Cell, or
the Hell in the Cell that I did in a no contest. Because Brock come out.
It was the
it was. It was
Crown Jewel.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was Crown Jewel.
That was because Roman had to vacate, but it was in the Cell because
Brock comes out.
The red cell when Brock
it was
ripped the door off.
Roman, weren't it? Of course, I was thinking it was Brock.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because Brock
comes
came
out,
back,
kills
ruined
them all,
everything.
The red cell, wasn't it?
The red cell, the first
fucking
time.
red cell, the red thick.
The red thick. We're back to Warrior again. See, because obviously Foley was meant the ref because you.
Yeah, what was that?
And then he ended in a no contest.
Oh, fuck me, man. It gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How can it get worse from here?
Main event of the evening gets a video package hype, and if we haven't given you enough hints as to what it is Samoa Joe against Roman Reigns.
The big dog.
The big dog for nothing. The boos for Roman Reigns, it does annoy me, the boos for Roman Reigns, in fairness. But yeah, they were loud. Let's put it that way. Joe starts up the match with a headbutt and it spills outside. Joe puts Roman straight through an announce table, which was good, and the crowd were hot for that.
Later, coach says he's at the quickest anybody's ever gone.
I'd like WWE stats and historians to find out.
If you said that, at that point,
I haven't even rang the bell yet.
No one cares. No one cares. Joe tosses him around again a bit outside, and then eventually Roman gets in and the bell rings. Joe beats him down, and Joe works over Roman Reigns' neck. An original chant of CM Punk.
Just before that, I started to see a few fans already leave.
Yeah, you can already see it.
You know what's going to happen,
yeah.
Well, I think the beat the traffic chant was the CM Punk chant.
And a loud boring chant as well.
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe.
Both of them, poor Joes.
Yeah.
He's Joey.
He's Joe and Hawaii and Joe.
Joe.
If you're putting Joe in these sort of spots, though, is so unfair. Joe trash talks him, and then there's a lovely overhead kick by Joe, and boring chants follow that. So he suicide dives outside to try and stick it to him.
Do a flip!
And then there's another boring chant as an arm lock is locked in, and people now are noticeably leaving around. There is a nice big boot and a drive by Roman outside, a big clothesline in the corner, and a nice sequence into a senton by Joe for a 2. There's a spinebuster for a 2, and I've put here that both of them look visibly tired by this point. I must
admit,
where
you get the Rusev Day chant again.
Yeah, the Rusev. Well, it's just I've put this in a couple of things. It's just after the Superman punch, but
Superman punch 2 count Rusev Day chant.
Yeah, well, Superman punch 2 count Rusev Day chant.
Yeah, I put that, and the next one I put spear. I put spear 2 count delete chants.
Yeah. Well, I thought the best spot in the match was the another attempt at a drive by, which goes straight into the Kakina clutch, which was so timed so well. But Joe breaks out of this. We get the Superman punch for a 2 and the Rusev chant as a spear is hit by Roman for a 2, which is done by a rope break. I think he gets his foot on the rope. The delete chants start, and then the Coquina clutch is now locked in. It's reversed into a pin attempt, which again gets a 2. Joe locks it in again, and at least this gets a cheer. Roman does the Hogan spot though, which does really piss me off when he acts like he's gonna die and then comes back to life.
When he died and everybody was thinking, oh my god, he's gonna win.
I saw that. I did that,
and everybody was like, fuck, here we go again.
My next note was end it for fuck's sake.
Wow.
Honestly, watching this, but I was getting more and more angry watching this. When's this gonna fucking end?
Well, one sentence.
Jesus Christ. Even though I was going to leave, if I was a toad, I'm going out.
Well, Roman blocks a muscle buster to roll through and hits a spear for a 3, and every single person gets up and leaves. Literally.
Quickly ended it.
And they don't even
now like big on the
not going to show that. Kevin Dunn ain't showing no crowd. It's close up to Joe's face and the little signature strip at the bottom as the pay-per-view
from New Jersey
ends.
Fuck off, cop.
Before we pick the bones out of why, what and how, what mark are you going to give that out of 10, Jack?
Well, even if you had a hot crowd, I still think there was long submissions, which was a bit weird, but I'd give it a 4. I think it was about as good as the last match.
I'd have said the same.
I gave it a 6. I thought it was better than that. I really like the spot with the drive by going into the kick in the clutch. And partly the 6 is not because of Roman, because it's not Roman's fault.
No, he did.
But it is Joe as well, because Joe's intensity at the start was exactly what he needs. Because Joe should be the Brock Lesnar that they've got on the product.
Well, he did it with Brock. They great ball of fire. When he come out, beat him up, and then it was about 5 minute match. Brock come in there, 5 win.
Done, yeah, fucking hell.
What was that?
But he loved working with him, did he, Brock?
Yeah.
But that's the point.
He's a fat man that goes all around.
And if you did do that, if you built Joe up to that, then him versus Brock's got more to it. Than
Well, even Paul Heyman said way before that's the match he wanted for Brock was Joe.
Yeah.
But he's always over.
Yeah,
and he ain't really changed it. He's still over with the same character he was doing in TNA when he fought Angle, which was massive.
He's the monster, really.
Just book him right, and they just drop the ball with him, I think.
Yeah,
they help with his injuries and things like that, and Vince will shit on you if you get injured.
Well, his body type doesn't always help.
It's a little bit
the fact that he's called Samoa Joe as well will put Vince off.
Samoa Joe!
He might want the top bloke in the product being called Samoa. No matter what he says, I don't care what anyone says, Vince will not want the bloke on top to have Samoa in his name.
No.
Just well, even though
we will call you. We will shorten it.
Yeah.
Joe.
Just Joe. But I must admit,
that wasn't just Joe. That was a heat storyline. That was.
Apart from the dead spots, which was on which happened in the match, I thought the start was good. I thought the crowd, if they'd have given a shit, would have potentially been. It would have been a lot better than what it was.
I'd agree with that.
So yeah, that's Backlash 2018 done. Thankfully over.
Fuck.
Yeah, sandwiched between a lot of bad pay-per-views post WrestleMania. And pre-WrestleMania, pretty much, it wasn't a vintage year for WWE.
Vintage!
Jack, match of the night?
Seth Miz, I think.
Yeah, Seth Miz.
I would just give it Seth Miz because it had a better finish than AJ.
It had a more definitive finish.
Worst match of the night?
The tag match, Braun and Thingy. Or, actually, Carmella Charlotte.
Yeah, I was thinking Carmella Charlotte just because it was just so dead.
I mean, I really didn't like the Randy Orton Jeff Hardy match because it was so predictable, but at the very least it was passable. The Carmella Charlotte match was just so infuriating. It was really,
especially when you had a good women's match on the kickoff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're never going to switch it because there's a
no, but you're right. It was a better match, and the Road Agents work on that. By the way, just to finish and round it out, the Road Agents of this match was Michael Hayes, and the Road Agents of the tag team match was Tag Team Pariahs, Erwin R. Shyster and Devon Dudley. What a weird team, RX and Devon. Get the table.
Deacon Shyster.
Devon, get the briefcase.
It's a weird team.
I want that now.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
Brother Shyster.
Brother Shyster.
I.R. Dudley.
That's brilliant.
IRD.
MVP of the night, Jack?
Elias.
Good shout.
Me for watching this shit. Seth or Elias.
Yeah.
Probably Elias because he had a little bit more crowd control.
Yeah.
He had him in the palm.
For me, there's 4, and I think you've got
Vagabond.
You've got Elias because he was definitely the greatest heel. I mean, Big E with that drum.
Oh, sweaty Big Corey. He's too sweaty.
Nakamura and Seth for the in-ring work. And whoever pressed play on No Way Jose's theme. Without a shadow of a doubt. And
but if it was the Allied Powers thing that come out, there was all that.
Oh no, turn that off.
Luger coming in.
No way, Luger.
The crowd would go quiet. What's this?
And cunt of the night, Jack. Bear in mind, you know the Road Agents are these now.
Oh well, I've been waiting to say this. Michael Hayes.
He's not a cunt of the night. He's just a cunt. Because he had Jimmy Garvin. He got Jimmy Garvin a job, so fucking.
Yeah, you really
Right, Jimmy Carpenter.
Well,
Just because he was on the juice.
Well, you had Tatanka, you had Sting.
Yeah,
Coming
up on episode 21, our career review of Jimmy Garvin.
5 parts.
I will be away. Fuck you.
Haku, email me.
I had nothing about Haku.
You like your nose where it is.
It's not big enough. The commentary just for not shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, it was
Let
cool.
them just simmer. Shut up.
Yeah, I hated the
Particularly in the
commentary.
first match because I know how good it was. Here's a
For me, it's got to be Michael Hayes for that. The road agents work on the final match.
Michael,
You
say
know,
Michael,
you know
Cole
the
or
crowd's
Hayes?
going to be dead from Nakamura's finish. Then you got a dead tag match. You've got to build it, and the quickness of the start was probably good, and it helped. But then they just killed it completely, and then the wrong winner.
Yep. So there we go.
If Joe would have won, what did it
Crowd would have
hurt
been
Roman? No, because he was going to fight Brock at some
More of
point
a
anyway.
narrative if Roman loses.
And rounding it out with a mark out of 10, Jack for Backlash 2018.
3.5.
3.
I'll give it a 3. 3 segments, 2 matches, and
Like Mania
yeah,
8.
segments.
2 matches. The rest is crap.
Yeah, absolutely. We now take it in turns to rebook Backlash 2018 and do it better. Sam, I'm handing over to you first on this episode. Let us know what your pay-per-view card was and how we got there.
Right. First, there's not a lot of difference, if I'm honest.
What? You just said it was shit. I'll leave it.
Yeah, there's slight differences leading up.
Okay.
The main event would be the AJ Nakamura for the title. No DQ, I would keep it.
Okay.
Women's title match I would slightly change. I would have Asuka in it as well.
Okay.
Triple threat.
So I have a
Can I just ask who's going over in the Nakamura and the AJ matches?
Nakamura.
Okay. Oh, you're going to build to the results at the end?
Yes, the results at the end.
Well, results to come.
To come. US title, Jeff Hardy v Orton. It took me a while to fill in the blank, and I thought, well, I know what I can do with this leading to it.
Okay.
So I put Orton in there. Reigns v Joe I would still have, because it was okay. But I would actually build this as a number 1 contender match for the Universal title, because you can lead off from the Saudi Arabia thing and whatever, and have Paul Heyman sort of develop.
Yeah.
Raw Women's title, again, Nia Jax v Alexa Bliss, just to win that feud off. IC title, I would just keep that exactly the same, because it was pretty good, to be honest, so I wouldn't change that. And I would have another match with the New Day v Sanity, because Sanity got called up, and they got called up and then left. And now they've been split up.
Yeah. What's Eric Young doing? What did he?
He's on Raw.
The 24/7.
Oh,
Yeah, 24/7.
Runs around with his new back tattoo.
And his non-beard.
Yeah.
He's strange little.
Although I do like comedy, Eric Young comments a bit.
I do.
I'll always have a
He
soft
is-
spot
he-
after the
he is
80s
alright
and
like
8s
that.
segment.
But I would have that because that's how they debuted. They beat up the New Day.
The Beatle new.
Yeah, so why not build on that and have that?
Why not
as a
do
match?
something?
Why not actually
Yeah.
do something with this?
do something with it. And
No.
it's the New Day.
Well,
you know, you can always rely on the New Day, and you need some sort of tag match. So,
Completely.
so as I said, IC title exactly the same as pay-per-view. Of course, he anything over there.
Yeah.
Nakamura would win the title by again loads of low blows, and obviously he would hook the tights and whatever. To win.
Yeah.
Although it's no DQ, you know, you gotta have some sneaky way.
Sneaky
I didn't want to say
I've
it.
gone back to the 90s, early 80s.
Well, I think it would.
Does he Pearl Harbor him?
No salt in
No salt, no tables, just to piss off the crowd. But I would have him win. So I know AJ having the long run it helped, but it wouldn't have hurt Nakamura having it and then AJ winning it back later on. Possibly SummerSlam or something like that. It helped build it. And that's how things are nowadays.
Yeah.
Before the pay-per-view, Samoa Joe would go to SmackDown as normal, because he did get a SmackDown day before this, in the Superstar Shake-Up, whatever it's called.
Here we go! Oh.
Here we go! Wild card.
Hey, Raw.
Superstar Shake-Up.
Here we go! But before then, it would be announced that reign by Paul Heyman, after the Greatest Royal Rumble, obviously all the controversy and whatever, that he's got to actually win a number one contenders match at Backlash before he gets another shot. Obviously I've done that, and obviously say it's against Samoa Joe, but then obviously he moves. Have you on the Raw, on the Superstar Shake-Up. Here we go! Waiting for that. And then obviously he moves, but so obviously that could you've got a bit of intrigue that, if Mojo wins, Mojo, he could take the Universal title off SmackDown and Raw would be left without a champion. You could build that up. What I would do with Orton and Hardy, similar, but obviously have Orton be a bit more of a heel.
Yeah.
But you could have him slowly start to turn back heel, and then lead to what happened at the Cell, with the screwdriver in the ear when he was becoming a sick prick.
Yeah.
Like he was back at which good Orton is sick Orton.
Yeah.
But have him start to slowly build that, because obviously he's a heel. Do it slowly with him, it would have worked.
Yeah.
And shave his head, for fuck's sake. I would actually have Mickie James with Alexa on this as well, because I think that kind of worked, because they was together all day at this point.
Yeah.
And she would try and help Alexa win, but fail. That's why Nia Jax would win a SmackDown, women's title match. Charlotte and Asuka would actually work the majority of the match. Carmella would be like keeping being kicked out the ring as what happened nowadays. One has to roll outside and sleep for a bit. So have them two work most of the match, and then have Carmella come in and roll up Charlotte after some of Asuka does, and have Carmella win it. But then that can lead to her and Asuka the next few, which goes on the next timeline. But
the timeline resets.
The timeline resets, but there's no chin.
We put the Mind Stone. We give the Mind Stone back to.
Here you go. Have that. And obviously the New Day, because they got attacked by Sanity. Follow it up. Don't just leave it. Don't just have Sweaty Big E come out with a drum.
I know, but Sweaty Big E.
Sweaty Big E is good. You can still have Sweaty Big E, but have him have a match.
Yeah.
Because that worked. So that is how I'd do Backlash. Because they try and build on things, but it is still a bit of a dead pay-per-view. Particularly, they're not getting paid by some rich country billions of dollars
for paying them.
New Jersey, we will do this show. Whereas Saudi Arabia, we will walk around and talk business.
Yeah,
business. So that is how I would do Backlash 2018.
Well, my Backlash, I'm leaving yours till last, Jack. Okay. We'd start the pre-show, although I've got no issues.
You've got a pre-show?
Yeah, I've got a pre-show
as well.
Although I've got
Ginger in the pre-show.
I've got no issues with Bayley versus Ruby Riott, and to be honest, I probably would have that as an additional match. If I was only to book one match, it would be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. And they would retain, they'd only just won the titles, hadn't they, in the Rumble. But I would have them go over someone credible, so at least it builds the tag team titles and the division. The opening contest would have to be Seth versus
no tag division?
I've got no issues with this at all. Realistically, I could have picked holes in
I
could pick holes in it. The fact that it exists, because Miz isn't going to win, which is, I don't like matches that don't have much jeopardy. Yeah. But the match was so good that I can't get rid of it. It was too good. I would have Seth win. Exactly the same. Got no issues with it. My Raw's women's championship match would be Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James, just to add a different nuance to the match. And there would be dissension throughout the match. It would get away from this big Andre the Giant spot, because them two could go at it when Nia's laid outside and all that. But Nia Jax would retain. I would have Joe versus Reigns early on in the pay-per-view. I've got no real issues with it existing. However, what I would do at this point, he's just lost 2 times to Brock on his big WrestleMania situation, and then at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I would have Samoa Joe, who's got Samoa in his name, keep telling Roman that he's let his home country down of Samoa and play up as that. And say that he's...
By the way, I'm Fijian.
and he's going to put Roman Reigns down.
To work, yes, Mark.
He's going to put Roman Reigns down, and in 2 minutes, Joe would destroy Roman Reigns, put him through the table. It would be rang, the bell would be rang, and he would Kikina clutch him and choke him out. So Roman here is now down and out. The crowd him on his back. Everything's going against him, so you can move forward with that. My Daniel Bryan match would be against Randy Orton.
I didn't book Daniel Bryan. I've just realised this when we go. So I thought, where the fuck's Bryan? Oh my god.
Daniel Bryan obviously now is the apple of Shane's eye, which would piss off Randy Orton, who a year prior was the world champion.
Shane's sweaty
he
eye.
wouldn't be too happy with the booking of Bryan as well when he was GM, so that would play up to it. During the match, Bryan would be down and out, and Randy Orton would just be about to punt him, but can't bring himself to punt someone who's just come back. And this little spot would allow Daniel Bryan to roll him up. That would then play up for the feud for the next couple of months. That Orton could have crippled him if he wanted to. Bryan keeps going on that he wouldn't, regardless. And you can play up to that.
You go soft.
I like that. The Braun match would be Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, playing up to something that happened, which was Braun eliminating Bobby Lashley. During the match, Braun would have the trophy outside, and the sneaky Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would destroy the title, destroy the trophy. This would distract Braun, who would get beaten by Bobby Lashley.
Not with a suplex.
Not with a suplex, with a roll-up. Beat him with a backslide. But purely and simply because
Sean would have been impressed.
This can give Bobby Lashley a chip on his shoulder. Everyone in the crowd knows that he got a cheat win. It plays up to the sneaky heel that Bobby Lashley could become.
Sneaky bastard.
And it takes the focus off Sami Zayn and Owens having to sell for these two. Let them sell for each other. My sub-main event would be Charlotte Flair versus Asuka in a WrestleMania rematch. This Charlotte Flair would tell Asuka is her last chance to win the title. She won't defend it against her again, and Asuka would win the belt.
Completely got rid of
Completely.
Carmella.
Well, no, because because Carmella is going to cash in right after Asuka's finally beaten Charlotte Flair. She would get rolled up by Carmella, and Carmella would leave as the champion.
No roll-ups.
Well, maybe not a roll-up, but turn around to a kick or something. But yeah, I would give the crowd that spot, that sort of shock.
You want to vent it there.
Because if you're going to have dead pay-per-views, why don't you utilise the tools that you've got instead of giving it away on SmackDown? It makes no sense. And my main event would be a last man standing match between AJ Styles and Nakamura. So I've got no issues with the ball kick, although it's a bullshit finish. But don't do it here. Do it over in Saudi Arabia where no one cares. And then you can go, we're going to really finish this with the 10 counts and stuff. Got to be a one-man 10 count.
That's what they did it.
Money in the Bank. They had a last man standing.
Yeah,
How did they? Well, I would have that here.
because Nakamura was counting with him on Smack.
Well, I would have that here, but Nakamura would do strong style throughout, beat the shit out of AJ with kicks, knees, and at this point the club would run out and try and stop AJ keep getting back up because they're seeing the glutton for punishment, feeling really bad. And then right at the end I'd have Carl Anderson turn on AJ Styles and the club join with Nakamura for a WWE version of a Japanese Bullet Club.
The Yakuza.
So Nakamura would win the belt and the club would be with Nakamura, and that would be my Backlash. And I don't care what anyone says, that is better booking than the shit we got.
To be fair, we could have just said clean finishes. To be fair.
That's it. He's rebooked it. But Jack, over to you. Do it better.
Right. I've got two things on my kickoff. The first is a match. It's Jeff Hardy defending the US title against Jinder Mahal. Because obviously he needs his rematch.
Yeah.
He never got it.
That's true. He got his 24/7 title rematch.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just
No more
with
rematch.
the kick-off, and Jeff's a big enough star that people will like that, and Jeff wins, of course, clean, nothing wrong with that. The second segment is a Deleters of World promo,
Okay.
with the tag belts, because they're obviously the new tag team champions, and this would be the debut of Sanity, who would come out and beat them.
That makes sense. Perfect. Hooking them two together. Yep, Sanity and...
Main show, Pyro, blah blah blah. First match
Is Billy
everybody-
Barnes caught near the...
Yeah, it could be. Or the first match is, of course, Seth versus Miz, because that's how what everybody agrees is very good for the show.
Yep.
Seth wins. The second match is the SmackDown Women's title. It's Carmella as champion versus Charlotte, so I'm keeping the cash in and everything. But Carmella would win due to the interference of probably, because I'm looking at the roster, and the only one who's big enough that can be with her is Tamina.
Okay.
So put in Tamina,
would be
who
like
beats up
bodyguard.
Charlotte, and then you've then got at least something that Carmella can play off, that she just got to go out there and try and out-wrestle people who she call her out-wrestle.
Yep.
Who's at least got a bit of an edge to her character. So Carmella retains.
Misses you.
The third match is the Bludgeon Brothers defending the SmackDown tag titles
Mania.
against Gallows and Anderson, and they would win clean.
They should always be on the show.
Well, they've got to kill people.
If Luke Harper is well, he's on pay-per-view. I don't
Brilliant. And Rowan's cat face. So they've got to be on it. And, you know, you've built them up to kill everyone. They ain't killed Gallows and Anderson yet, so they can kill them here.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll probably lead to a debut of a team. AOP or something like that.
Okay.
But so the Bludgeon Brothers basically continue their reign of terror over the SmackDown Tag Division, returning the belts. The next match is a one-on-one contest. It's Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan. So it's similar to the story of Bryan and Cass, but with somebody who's better than Joe.
Someone who's not a hot dog.
Everyone's got rid of Cass. Because obviously Joe's returning. He's returning from injury. And obviously Bryan's returned from injury and all that stuff. So I would have Joe win, probably through nefarious cheating, and then the ref would be down, he'd smash him with a chair or something, and then he'd put him in the clutch. And obviously because of his head injuries and everything like that, you can play off that.
Because of his head.
Because of his head being a bit weak. So Joe would win, and then you can
Was it on the orange?
Yeah, it's on orange, yeah. Match number 5, Raw Women's Championship. It's Nia Jax versus Ruby Riott. For me, Mania ends the Alexa Bliss Abyss feud. And then you now go into Ruby Riott, who should be in a main event feud.
Yeah.
She's very good.
Very good.
So this is, and if you're doing a bully storyline, I don't want it, but you've got to have at least then 3 people, which is the right
bullying,
spot,
yeah.
on one.
Yeah, I agree.
Otherwise, how are you going to do it? It's
Yeah.
just Alexa Bliss's 5-5.
Yeah.
So
Lacarina Classic.
this match ended in a disqualification. Nia Jax retains because obviously she did the Samoan drop, got a beat. Then come Lord, what's her name? Logan and Liv Morgan. Call them Logan then.
Logan, yeah.
And they beat him down, and then she can now stand over it with a belt. So you've still kept the heat and keep the feud going. Match number 6. No one's had this, because you all forget. Because everybody forgets. 205 Live exists.
No, I did think about having it in my pre-show. The truth is, I hadn't done enough research to remember whether it was Murphy who was the champion back then, or whether it was Cedric. So I couldn't.
Cedric won the belt at Mania.
Yeah, from Mansour. I mean,
Ali. Oh, yeah. That's a bit racist. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak at but Backlash, because at the end of the day, if you're going to build a brand,
I agree,
the main title's got to be on the show.
All the
Otherwise,
time.
you shitted on it.
Absolutely agree.
So he ain't got a match in the real card, which is annoying. At least give him a kick-off. I mean, he should be on the main show, but at least give him a kick-off. But anyway, I'll rant about this all the time.
that happens
But
a lot, no.
Cedric v Drew, because Drew's brilliant and Cedric's brilliant, and Cedric would retain, and then he'd move on to his next feud. The next match, one-on-one, it's Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
And I'm doing, you know, we've seen it when he lost to Rock. Down, and then Brock comes out and kills him, and then Cena beats him in Extreme Rules. I have in that. Obviously, Lashley would win for me. what I'm doing is Roman comes out after Mania. He goes to speak. Obviously, the crowd shit on him anyway, don't they? Lashley comes out for his returning and beats the shit out of him. And then the feud then is like with yours. Roman's lost to Brock. He's lost. He ain't got it anymore. He can't cut it.
At least he created jeopardy.
Big monster in Lashley. Build him up. He beats Roman. So then you've got ways where you can go.
Yep.
You either build Roman back up from the ashes as a phoenix, or you just completely turn him.
Yeah, you can move him on.
Next promo is the Elias.
Yeah, I would have had that as well in my
Elias.
I would have had Big E with more kind of...
You would have made it even sweatier.
Elias with a sweaty Big E and the New Day, then Rusev. But the only change is
Don't you get rid of Jose. No way, Jose.
No, Jose comes out. Then the final interruption, instead of being Bobby Roode, is Braun.
Okay.
Because they ain't used Braun. He's just won a Rumble.
Is he going to dance?
He ain't going to dance, he's going to come behind. So instead of Glorious, it's going to be and then he's going to turn round and then he can bugger off and they can all dance. But he ain't going to dance because he's supposed to be a monster.
He did dance with the first original conga line, Adam Rose, though.
He was in it, wasn't he?
So did Becky and Simon Gotch.
Yeah, they all did, didn't they? And then the main event, of course, is AJ versus Nakamura.
Yep.
In a no-DQ match. And I would have AJ win.
Okay.
Clean.
Okay.
I would probably still try and continue the feud, although it seems to feel like a full stop to it. But I would probably try and continue it. I ain't got to worry about that.
No.
And that'll be it.
And I think that quite nicely concludes that all three of those were better than the debacle that we got. Yeah. However, do let us know on Twitter at BCCPod, facebook.com/BCCPod, and our website, bettercallcreative.com, who you thought rebooked it better. And I think it was me. But there you go. However, we round out...
Oh, mate.
We round out every episode as we tend to do with a fantasy card, and our fantasy theme this episode was Vince McMahon favourites versus Indy darlings. So I've got a 6-match card. Have you got 6?
Yes.
Yep, 6 each way. So mine was a bit weird, mainly and simply because I don't necessarily think he was a Vince McMahon favourite, but it's a Vince McMahon misinterpretation of what good cruiserweight wrestlers are. So my first match is 1-2-3 Kid / X-Pac versus Austin Aries. I would put over 1-2-3 Kid because I don't like Austin Aries at all.
It's a bit of a cop.
It's 1-0 to Vince on my on my rebooking. Jack?
My first match is a Texas Death Match. I don't know why. I just put that on.
Vince ain't booking that.
It would be John Moxley, who is the darling of the internet all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
Because I am no longer in the WWE, therefore I love you again. Versus Roman Reigns. Because Roman is Vince's boy. And I'd put Roman over just because the internet would melt.
Yep.
And then everybody would leave.
It's 1-0 Vince. All round. 1-0 Vince.
Mate, can it be a follow?
Mine would be go back to 1994, 93, which is Vince's favourite Lex Luger versus everybody else, or the very embryonic internet, Brett.
Yeah.
No, Brett doesn't.
And I would actually put Brett over.
So Smark.
Yeah.
No, come on,
Internet Sam. You've always been the Smark of the
family. Yeah, but bosses annoy me.
Fair enough. Bosses annoy me. Put that on the shirt. What's that mean?
So it's 2-1 Vince as we head into my next match, which is Brock Lesnar versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But I am definitely putting over Shinsuke Nakamura in that match.
That actually happened, didn't it, in Japan?
Yeah.
That match.
Did it?
Very young Nakamura.
Very young, very strange looking Nakamura.
My next match is an 8-man tag. It's the Bullet Club, which is Devitt, Cody, and the Box. The internet. Boys!
Versus Mountie. Nasty one.
Not that. That's brilliant. Versus the Corporation, which is Big Show.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Boss Man. I don't know why. I like Boss Man.
Everybody likes Boss Man.
What is it like today?
Viscera.
And Test.
Viscera.
Definitely
And,
Test.
and putting over the Bullet Club.
Yeah. My next match is Brock versus Dan Severn. Dan Severn. Everybody loves Severn now. That's true.
Boy. I like Severn.
That
Appeared on a few of our fantasy cards.
Severn.
It's 4-2 to the internet at the moment. It's not skipping, but my next match is Roman Reigns versus John Moxley, and I will be putting over Roman Reigns because I don't like John Moxley.
Oh, Sting and Moxley.
I just don't like him. That podcast's going to shut down.
I just don't like him. I can't take to him. He just does my head in. He's just not as good as where he should be.
Now.
He was better off as upper mid card in WWE. He's now going to be pushed. He's going to be like the IGWP champion or whatever. For what?
IGWP.
You have an IGWP.
They've done that on purpose.
Shit on him.
But you know what
Wind up virgin.
He's just going to be the top star in like the Indies and
He's going to be the
Japan.
Slaven Bilic of AEW.
And all it proves is that the Indies have got someone that weren't good enough to be the top bloke in WWE. So what does that say? Anyway,
Yeah. Match 3, just to
Oh, good. Just
diffuse the atmosphere. It's
to
Matt
keep the
Riddle.
viewers.
It's a submission match. It's Matt Riddle versus Brock.
yes,
As everybody wants it there.
they do.
And
How about Goldberg versus Matt Riddle?
Brock suits it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put over Riddle.
When he wanted to retire, Brock,
Bro.
he said.
Broke. Oh, Brock ain't broke.
Right. My next one, slightly strange, but there's a theme.
The last one was strange. That Dan Severn.
Yeah, but everyone loves
Severn,
Severn.
He was an internet boy.
Severn. The next one is Triple H and Shawn
Yeah.
versus AJ and Finn. So it's
Yeah,
basically old Bullet Club
Versus
versus new DX.
Was it 2006 DX?
Yeah. I would. He's got to
Dad's
be.
behaving badly.
For that, I'm putting over Triple H and Shawn.
That's going to be a great
No,
podcast.
Dad's working badly.
Oh, wait, that. New DX.
Oh, that should have been the theme after the match at Crown Jewel with Shawn and Triple H with them just playing there. You had that theme playing over it.
Well,
The Vince's 2-1.
the next episode of DX behaving badly is
Oh, you
DX,
booked him then.
DX versus the Young Bucks.
Is this Billy Gunn and Road Dogg?
No, they were never Vince boys. They were never Vince boys because of the Alamo. Alamo. And I'm putting over DX because again, I'm really just not that keen on the Young Bucks.
No,
I
to
don't
be honest.
think we're there. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe
They're
DX
all- I
I
like
like your
them.
last one.
DX.
So it's
Just because
actually
I want to have the maybe having better been played.
I like the Bucks, but I don't think them as big as people's.
they ain't as good as Pentagon Jr. in
No.
Phoenix.
Oh, they're not.
And they're never going to get the same sort of
because they're in masks.
Yeah. Anyway,
Vince Russo. 6-man tag. Match
I don't
number
care
4.
about Mexican.
It's
Oh,
Ricochet,
Russo.
Will Ospreay, and Joey Ryan versus
Vince.
I've got to get him in here.
What to do with that?
This is a weird team, but I've got to get him in. Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger, and Triple H.
Well, Hogan and
What
Joey,
a strange match.
Hogan and Joey Ryan have got something in common.
You got a 10-inch cock, brother.
Joey Ryan does the dick flick.
If I had Terry Bollea
Hulk
there.
Hogan does the dick flick. Terry Bollea, he can't do it.
Hey, Dad, I haven't got that big of a dick.
That's the Hulk up, brother. I don't need Viagra, brother. I need Hulk up, brother. Hulk Hogan Batman, brother.
I don't need Viagra.
That's hulking up.
He's an image on him, but he's fun.
I'm putting Hogan, Luger, and Triple H over because Vince
Oh.
will kill me if I die.
He's 6'5" Vince at the moment, Jack. Sam, over to you.
I forgot what my next. Oh god, my next one is Hulk Hogan versus Smoker. He's got that some big bloke he can slam.
Yeah, that's true.
Good
I'm
old.
working with Joe.
Can't be Hogan. Don't work for me, brother. Can't be Hogan.
Well, my next match would be John Cena versus Bryan Danielson. And I'm going to put over Bryan Danielson to make it a bit more interesting.
The internet have softened on you a little bit.
Yeah. I like Daniel Bryan. He's the one person that I do like that the internet like.
Match 5, Kenny Omega versus John Cena.
I didn't get Kenny Omega. I can't believe that.
He's
current
flavour. And I'm going to put over Cena.
Over Kenny Omega?
Well, I've put Roman over, so I might as well kill him. If I've killed him, I might as well kill him more.
He killed the Indies.
With
Have we
Cena.
got any listeners left? Any points?
Wait till my main event.
My next one actually happened. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. It wasn't actually a bad match.
No.
But I wouldn't put Bryan over.
8-7 going into our last matches. Here we go. So my main event would be Hulk Hogan versus the ultimate of Indy darling.
I thought you were going to say the Ultimate Warrior.
CM Punk.
Punk. I forgot about Punk.
It has to be. I would put over CM Punk just to piss Hogan off.
Yeah.
Well, they did have a little time.
So 8-8 going into the last two.
I should have been Kevin Nash, the Punk, the vanilla midget. Actually, that happened, indeed.
Main event, anyway, after that, is the ultimate of Vince McMahon boys, Vince McMahon, versus the ultimate internet boy,
Tony Khan.
Dave Meltzer.
Oh, what a main
What a
event!
match!
What a main event!
And Vince is going over.
That's the best main event we've had on any
Imagine going
fantasy
for a red
card.
card and then you got Vince beating Meltzer.
What a match. I'd cheer on Vince.
So would I.
And I would.
Fuck you, Melt.
You are not good,
My
United.
main event, he's already ruined. Cena v Omega.
Yeah, and what you going with?
I'm going with Cena because
So Vince McMahon has beat the internet.
I think Kenny Omega.
Sign us, Vince.
I think Kenny Omega is slightly overrated.
I like Omega.
I like
Honestly,
it,
more
but
I've
I
seen
think
it,
people
more.
like him too much.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think if you put Omega in the Fed, I do think he'd be a top star.
Yeah,
He'd be a top star.
So would Okada. I think Okada.
Naito would be the one.
Naito's brilliant.
Naito.
I don't know about the Fed. They're a bit mad, but I do think the Fed. If Naito was American, he would be a top star.
He would
in the
be
Fed.
It's only because he'd struggle with the English.
Because it's just Japanese. Vince wouldn't
Yeah.
get it.
But Naito didn't make it on any of our cards.
No, he
But if he would have made it on your cards, get in touch again on
Please don't find out where we live.
Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCC pod. Drop us a tweet on Twitter and a follow at BCC pod. And check out our website, which will have all our back catalogues and Jack's ongoing video game and music reviews. And that is episode 20 in the bag. But where are we going for our next episode 21? Well, we're going to the world of ECW, but not Extreme.
Not as you know it.
Not as you know it.
Jim, but not as we know it.
It's
Not if we know it.
Eastern Championship Wrestling, as we get. Sorry, this is not produced in the same quality as WWE. Warning on every episode we'll be watching, because we'll be watching when Surfer Sandman became Smoker Sandman.
Yeah.
And then episode 22, we'll be checking out the Monday Night Wars, but not as
we
you
know
know them. It will be TNA's attempt at Monday Night War with Raw. And rounding out episode 23 will be a We Were There special, as we revisit our first wrestling pay-per-view. One night only. One night only. From Birmingham, England. Sort of our hometown. Kind of ish.
Kind of.
If you're in the United States, you would just round us up to Birmingham.
Probably London if he was in the America.
As
Do you know the Johnsons from Norwich?
No, I want to get that bad.
He'll listen to this.
I'm leaving it in. As Davey Boy Smith defends his European title against Shawn Michaels. So do join us then. But for this episode, we're conquering out of the building. As Titus Worldwide, Jack Chance says
goodbye,
and Sam Chance
goodbye,
and see you soon, folks. Goodbye.